You're here. Thank you for joining me. So this is a fairly gentle practice, but it does weave in a lot of strong and stabilizing postures. So you can really tweak this practice to make it as gentle and calming and easeful in the body. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it as you like. Or if you're feeling a bit more powerful, then you can certainly make this feel a little stronger for you. Let's get straight into it. Try and make this nice and short and snappy and just get the movement, the breathing, the mindset done. So find yourself a comfortable position. That doesn't have to be seated. You can be laying down, you could be standing. So whatever the scene is for you, whatever your body's calling for. Wherever you are though, let's find a neutral posture. So neutral through the spine, gaze and pelvis pointing forwards and shoulders nice and relaxed. The chin's just gently tucked down as though you're cupping a peach underneath the chin. So it's not pressed into the chest. And that just allows us to have that lovely, gorgeous, neutral C-shaped curve at the back of the neck. Honestly, once you find that space, it feels so good. So you can even take a hand to the back of the neck and just smooth your hand up and down and just feel that. We will soften the gaze or close the eyes or even just find a single point of focus so that you can tune in. Allow the momentum of your day so far to begin to slow, and perhaps you might set an intention for your practice. You might have something that instantly comes to mind, like I want to be focused, or you might find that the mind's still busy and you don't want to think about an intention right now, and that's okay too. We'll start the practice with some tuning in of the breath. So just begin to take your breath in and out through your nose where possible. And just begin to listen to how you're breathing right now. Is the breath smooth or is it jagged? Are you breathing slowly or more quicker in pace? And can you feel the breath in the lower ribs and belly, or is it higher in the upper chest and shoulders? And there's no need to rush to change it. Just allow the breath to naturally unfold and alter itself once you find that you re-regulate the state that you're in. If your eyes are closed, just begin to blink them back open. And we'll just start by taking the arms down by our side and scooping them up as though we're scooping the arms through water. So there's a gentle tension there, hands into prayer, and bring them back down to the heart. We'll do that 4 more times. You can begin to link the movement with the breath. Maybe as you reach the fingertips up, you can find some gentle length down the side seams of the body, and then palms come together as they meet down at the heart. Keep the gaze directly ahead, the spine neutral, just warming up and mobilizing into the shoulders. And just do this 1 more time. Reach the arms down. Take the right hand wherever it lands and take the left hand out to your side like an aeroplane wing. Squeeze the fist as though you're squeezing a tennis ball quite hard in between your hand. And we're going to start with some internal, external rotation. So twisting the knuckles forwards. Twist, twist, twist as far as you could go. You're taking this humeral head, the top of the arm bone, in its socket and rolling it internal rotation. Come back to center and then twist the other direction as though you're turning a key backwards in the lock. External rotation now. I'm going to do about 5 to 8 of these. You can go as slow or as quick as you like, but really feel that movement, really feel that arm bone moving in the socket. This will help to secrete synovium fluid and warm up the joint. Hopefully make it feel less sticky and niggly. Good, just a couple more. Well done. Take this left hand to the back of the head. Sit up nice and tall, or if you're standing, stand up nice and tall. And as you exhale, side bend over towards your right. Left elbow points to the sky and our chest faces forward. So you might need to ease the body forwards, top shoulder back. Use your hand as a guide for the head to press into, and this will help you take that movement from the side of the body. You can use this right hand to even tease the tissue in between the top of the iliac crest, the pelvic crest, and the rib cage. Good, and then inhale to recenter yourself, coming into a cat-cow. So if you're seated, hands on legs. If you're laying, come up. If you're standing, you can just bend into the knees and press your hands on your thighs and just work through these spinal articulations. So cow pose, the chest broadens, the shoulders roll. And cat pose, we curl and round, take our chin to our chest. 2 more rounds. So we come into spinal extension as we come into cow pose, and then we're actually flexing the spine as we round and curl. Deep breaths in through the nose, back out through the nose where possible, and then come back, find your center. Take right arm out at shoulder height. We go into those internal external rotation rolls. So even have a look or take the other hand onto the shoulder and feel the shoulder moving. I often find that when we add in sensory touch, we can make sense of what our body's doing more, and that in turn helps us to get more in tune with our body. And that's what yoga's all about, being more aware, being more intentional with our actions, our mindset and what it's doing. All right, just a couple more here. Just make sure that you're moving at the shoulder and not the wrist. Good, and then take that right hand to back of skull, press head into hand as we side bend over to the left. Spiral your heart forwards, shoulders back. Take a deep breath and really feel that breath in the side of the body, and feel free to use that hand to tease that tissue. Ease all of that stickiness out. Good, and inhale to come back up. Take the hands down, have a little shimmy of the shoulders if you need to. Cat-cow. Broaden the chest, curl and round. You might make this a bit more expansive now. You might circle round as you expand and circle back as you curl and round. Or you might just keep it nice and gentle and simple. If you're circling, switch directions. All right, come back to center. Lay down onto your back. Feel the back of the head, back of shoulders, sacrum, so back of pelvis, land on the ground. Feet on the ground with knees point up to the ceiling. Again, imagine that little peach underneath the chin. We keep that most of the time when we're keeping ourselves in a neutral posture. Lift in left foot so the left knee comes on top of the hip. We're going to take internal, external rotation swings at the hip now. So you might like to take your hand onto the outside of the knee or onto the outside of the hip, pressing fingers into that socket joint there so that you can feel what you're doing. So internal rotation, swing the foot out to the left. Really press firmly down into your right foot. This is going to help with stability. Come back through center and then swing your foot across the body. So 4 more of these. Internal rotation, really push for this. This is the one that tends to get sticky. We don't do it very often. Come back through center and then swing the foot across to the right side of your mat. Good. 3 more. I love adding these little mobilizing movements into the yoga practice. They really do make such a difference to our joints. All right, well done. Place that left foot down, pick up right. Internal rotation, you might notice that one side's stickier than the other. That's totally normal. So right foot swings out to right. Come back to center and then external rotation, foot swings across the body. Good, you know what you're doing now. 4 more of these. Keep pressing that left foot down. Keep the pelvis stable still. We're not rocking forwards and backwards. Good, last round. Really push for that internal rotation. Kick that foot out, out, out. Keep that pelvis steady. Good, come back. External rotation. Swing the foot across. Hold here, active external. So this is the sort of movement that you do in a shape like pigeon pose or butterfly pose. Good, come back to center, place the foot down. Draw 2 knees in towards your chest. Take your hands onto your knees. I'm going to circle at the hips now, so the knees will come wide out to the outer edges of the mat, down to bottom of mat, back together, and then in towards your body. Take a few circles like this. That should feel nice after those swings. Next time knees come in, take the circles in the other direction. Keeping neutral through the back of the neck, so chin still tucking slightly. Good job. Take the feet down to the ground. Just smooth your hands up and down the front of the thighs, front of hips. Okay, we're going to lift into our bridge pose, so press down into your feet. Take your hands onto the handlebars of the pelvis. Fingers might wrap to those bony landmarks at the front. As you press into feet, lift the pelvis just a couple of inches off the mat. So I still want your shoulders and shoulder blades, so the whole top half of your back really still placed on the mat. We're just lifting the pelvis up and getting the glutes active. It's a slight angling of tailbone up towards knees, and a little tap, tap, tap of the glutes with the fingers can always help them to switch on and start working. You should feel that. So the purpose of the glutes here is to extend the hips. We're opening at the front of those hips there. You can use your hands and smooth it up and down. Good, and we're going to hold for 10 more seconds. You might get the sensation of dragging your heels back towards your body now. So you're not physically moving your feet, you're just imagining that dragging sensation. Notice how that changes the sensation in your legs. Good job. Curl your spine all the way down, down, down. Sacrum lands. Feel free to have a little sway of the knees side to side here. Coming back to center, press up onto your forearms, lift the chest, hands behind the body. Keep feet on the mat, knees pointing up to the ceiling, and broaden the chest here. So really lift your chest up. Fingers might point out to the side of the mat if you need more space in shoulders and chest, or if you're comfortable to do so, you can spin your fingers to the bottom of the mat. I'm going to come into a reverse tabletop. So we're lifting the hips here again, just like we did in bridge. Get the gaze down the barrel of the body rather than throwing the head back, and really squeeze the glutes. So imagine you're protecting a pen in between 2 bum cheeks. We want that opening at the front of the hips again. We want the glutes to be working. It's this zipping sensation of pubic bone to belly button. And gaze is all the way down so that we can see almost the slope off the knees. Good. Lower the body all the way down, down, down. Turn onto your left hip, left forearm. shoulder on top of elbow, 2 knees meet at hip height, side clams, open and close here. 10 of these. So now we're working the glute medius and minimus. These are the smaller muscles of the glute. Keep pressing into forearm. Keep the ankles together. 7. Keep those bottom ribs lifted. 9 and 10. Well done. Spin it back on towards your bum for that reverse tabletop. Broaden the chest. Lift the pelvis. Squeeze the glutes. Gaze down the barrel of the body. Now you might hold here. You might take it down and just work through a cat-cow if you're looking for more gentle ease into the body. Or if you are in tabletop, you might begin to add a pulse to make it even harder. So tap pelvis down, lift back up, and we'll do that 5 times. Good, keep pressing through the feet. Squeeze the glutes at the top. And 1. Wherever you are, we're going to come all the way back down, down, down for those side clams on the right side. So right forearm, shoulder on top of elbow, knees come together, and then we open and close. This is another movement up the hip joint here. So abduction away from the body. You can even feel that, so take your fingers there if you want to feel what you're doing with your body. Keep pressing forearm down, under ribs lift. Good, 3 more. 2 and 1. Amazing job, well done. Spin it around, so hopefully joints are feeling nice and lubricated. Muscles are feeling nice and active. Come into your tabletop position, tuck the toes, lift the tailbone, come into your first downward facing dog. Strong straight arms, press the ground away here. Feel free to take a bend in the knees, and heels don't need to touch the floor. You might have a little movement here, maybe lifting one heel and the other. Good job, and then walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Take as many steps as you need and lift the body up in one piece. Use your glutes to fire the upper body on top of the pelvis. Mountain pose at the top of your mat. Find your neutral posture, relax the shoulders, gaze and heart facing forwards. Arms reach out and up. Come into your forward fold, belly to thighs, hinge at the hips and release the head, nodding yes and no. And take a halfway lift, slide the hands up the legs, they can come onto shins or thighs. Reach the collarbones forwards and keep the gaze down here. Good, forward fold, belly to thighs. Step the right foot back, lower right knee. Bring the upper body up for low lunge. Reaching arms out and up. Level the pelvis. Take right wrist with left hand and side bend to the left. Squeeze those inner thighs together for stability. Inhale back to center. 2 hands land on the ground. Take left knee back next to right. Tuck your toes. Tabletop position. Shoulders on top of wrist. Spread the hands. As we hover knees, we're going to lift lower belly. Keep the gaze down. Hold here for 5, 4, good job, 3. Keep back of head lifted. And 1. Downward facing dog. Send the tailbone to the sky. Straighten the legs. Ease the heels down. 3 breaths here. Good. Walk those feet all the way up to the hands. Lift to stand in one piece. Arms reach. Forward fold, belly to thighs. Halfway lift, so really broaden the collarbones, but keep the gaze down here. Forward fold, belly to thighs. Take the left foot back, lower left knee. come up for your low lunge. Take the hands to the pelvis, level the pelvis out. Those two bony landmarks, they want to be equal with one another, pointing forwards. Reach arms up, take hold of left wrist with right hand. As we squeeze the inner thighs together, we side bend the body to the right. Inhale to recenter. Two hands on the mat. Step right knee next to left. Tuck the toes. Hover. Lift the knees. Strong straight arms. Lower belly pulls back. Good. 3, 2, 1. Lift tailbone to the sky. Downward facing dog. That feels good on the back of the legs, right? Feel free to pedal your down dog out. Sway the hips. Wiggle. Whatever feels nice. And then walk feet up to hands. This time chin to chest, curl and round your way all the way up. So this is a mobilizing way. Our spine can be both mobile and stable. New words today. All right, arms come out and up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Step the right foot back, low lunge. Lift the body, level the pelvis. Arms reach. This time this right foot's going to spin to left edge of mat as we plant the right hand down next to right knee. Modified side plank. Feel free to straighten that left leg. You might reach that left arm up, maybe over ear. Good. Bend back into that left knee. Pull yourself up as though you're pulling up on a rope. Spin back to front of room. Two hands land either side of that front foot. Step left knee back. Walk the knees back, back, back for your modified plank pose. Lower belly lifts, glutes are firm as we lower the body in one piece. Bend into elbows. Navel to the floor. Tuck the toes. Press back up. Good. So really good to stabilize the shoulders and all the muscles around there is these reverse planks. Brilliant to get that chaturanga. Just a really nice stable movement. Good. Lower down in one piece. Peel the chest up for cobra pose. Squeeze the glutes. Tucking toes, downward facing dog, tailbone to the sky. 3 breaths here. Feel free to drop the knees and work through cat-cow if you want a more peaceful, gentle practice. And then walk feet all the way up to hands. Come up to stand. Arms reach. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold back over the legs, release the head. Step your left foot back, lower left knee. Come up for your low lunge, level the pelvis. Arms reach. Spin left foot to right edge of mat. Left hand lands next to left knee, modified side plank, extend that right leg long. Feel free to reach through fingertips or take bicep by ear for more of a stretch down the side of the body. Really lock left shoulder in its socket here. Good. Imagine you're using a rope to pull you back up. Bend back into right knee, spin to front of mat. 2 hands land. Step right knee back next to left. Walk those knees back, back, back. Lower belly firm, glutes firm. Elbows bend as we lower in one piece. Good job. Press back up. Well done. Lower all the way back down. Think of the elbows coming out in a V shape. Cobra pose. Peel the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. And exhale for downward facing dog. Tailbone to the sky. Strong straight arms. Press the ground away. Walking feet all the way up towards the hands. Roll up to stand. Mountain pose. Take a breath here. Reconnect with your neutral posture. Reconnect with your breath, slow it down if it's quickened in pace. Breathe into lower ribs and belly. And reach the arms out and up. Forward fold, belly to thighs. Take your halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs. Let's work through cat-cow. Pull the chest through. Curl and round. 3 rounds here. Or really, you can do as many as you like. Come into that more rounded state as you come back down into forward fold. Step straight back into your plank pose now. You've got your 3 options. You can lower knees and hover. You can come into modified plank with knees on the mat, or you can lift the knees off the ground for full plank. Squeeze the glutes, lower the body in one piece. Good. Untuck the toes, cobra pose, lift the chest. Option for an upward facing dog, straighten the arms, lifting thighs and hips off the mat. And then downward facing dog, tailbone to the sky. I'm only going to do that sun cell A that we've just done once, but feel free to pop me on pause and do as many rounds as you like. If you're feeling quite an energizing, heating practice today, then get some more rounds in, practice those chaturangas and push back ups. Or if you're just looking for a nice, calming, gentle, slower practice, then lower your knees with me, spin back around and sit on your bum. Give those shoulders a good little shimmy. And then we'll take an eagle wrap with the arms. So take left hand onto right shoulder, right hand onto left shoulder. You might hold here. You might take the elbows out in front of you and bring backs of hands together, or maybe wrap that right hand around to meet left palm. Keep the elbows lifted, hands pulling away from your face. So we're getting a broadening protraction of the shoulder blades here, and then moving away from one another. Feels nice to slow down again. Good. Release those arms. Have a little shimmy of the shoulders. Other side. Swapping over. Good. Lift those elbows. Take the hands away. Release those arms, give the shoulders a shake. Come to hands and knees, we're not staying here long. Take big toes together, knees as wide as feels comfortable, and ease your bum back towards your heels. Feel free to pop a cushion underneath the bum there. And lower your chest down to the ground for child's pose. Forehead can land on the mat, or you might take 2 fists, a block, a cushion, and just pop that underneath the forehead. Allow your body to begin to settle. Begin to press the hands up. Stay in your child's position, but take the hands underneath your chest. Center right hand and take left hand to the back of the head. As we take our next exhale, spin your chest towards the left. The elbow will lift to the sky. And on your next inhale, elbow can point down to mat or squeeze into right forearm and thumb. We'll just work through 2 more of these lovely thoracic rotations. Next time you lift the elbow to the sky, reaching fingertips up tall and thread the needle. Left arm underneath right armpit. Release left ear, left shoulder down. You can take a block underneath the ear here. If you're looking for more thoracic rotation, puff up onto right fingertips and use that to ease your body around to the right a little more. Alright, use that right hand to press your way back up. Feel free to open back out if that feels good. Other side, right hand to back of head, elbow points down. As you exhale, rotate, spin the chest to the right. As you inhale, elbow can either point down to ground or come into the forearm or thumb. 2 more. Good job. Last one. Open out, reach those fingertips up and then thread the needle. Right shoulder, right ear releases. Feel free to puff up onto fingertips to get more rotation. Pressing into left hand, feel free to reach and open back out, nice and expansive, and then simply spin over onto your bum. Come to lay down, knees point up to the sky, feet stay on the mat. Lay in pigeon pose, take the left ankle across to the right thigh. You might hold here. You might add in a little sway side to side, or you might pick the right foot up and take hold of the back of right thigh. Just pop that right foot down if it's lifted, uncross left ankle and windscreen wipe your knee side to side. Coming back to centre, crossing right ankle over left thigh. And again, you've got all your options available. Maybe sway, maybe hold, maybe hover left foot. And then releasing left foot down if it's hovered, unhooking right ankle, sway the knees side to side. Coming back to centre, and we're going to finish off in our butterfly pose. So taking soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to fall out to edges of the mat. If you are somebody who finds this a little tricky, then you might support yourself by popping a block underneath the knee, or maybe a cushion or a pillow under there. Particularly if you're somebody who's quite flexible as well, it can be quite nice just to support yourself with some supports there, some props, so that you don't just passively flop. You'll find a way that works for you. You can take the feet closer to the edge of the mat, the bottom of the mat, if that eases into the hips, and just invite you now to surrender. Surrender the back of the body. Surrender the eyes down, down, softer, softer. Allow the jaw to relax. The little muscles around the outside edges of your eyes. And the brow bone to soften. Take as long as you need here. Make any adjustments that you need at any time. And really enjoy a solid Shavasana if you have the time for it. Can you just make the time for it? I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me.